this is squat, bench, deadlift. I feel like a lot of people me, when I started out, I got confused between weightlifting and powerlifting because for me, it makes more sense for weightlifting to be squat, bench, deadlift and powerlifting to be snatching like cleans than the other way around. But alas, I don't make the rules. It's the other way around. So powerlifting is SBD, squat, bench, dead. Essentially what you need, as you can imagine, you need a barbell, you need the plates, you need the rack, you need a bench. You usually would need a lifting belt just because it does help you engage your core. Flatter shoes are usually more helpful because you're able to connect with the ground. Heeled shoes are sometimes used for squats. Knee sleeves, if you need wrist straps, chalk. So yeah, singlet if you want to compete, but that's...
Chalk is essential for calisthenics.
I feel like chalk is essential for the majority of these, to be honest.
Get the Cali Parks one or the CLU one.
Cali Parks, honestly, big shout out, but they are the best chalk that I've tried. It's so grippy. I don't know what's put into it. What chemical has been binding these?
Maybe we'll link their Instagram in the bio.
Yeah. We'll also link CLUs for their chalk, and we'll link an Amazon one that we like.
Amazon one is great as well.
Yeah. It's up there. So with powerlifting, I feel like powerlifting, weightlifting, street lifting all have this sort of similar benefits. Sorry. Quiet! All have similar... all have similar benefits. And all have similar drawbacks just because they are quite similar within what they actually are, as opposed to some of the other things that we're going to discuss. Because in essence, you're trying to lift the most you can. That is the goal over these three. So some of the advantages are you have clear numbers, like with street lifting, you can progress. You're progressing, it's just your total or your each individual lift, like how much you can lift. Like it's the stereotypical question of how much do you bench, bro? How much do you squat? What's your deadlift like? It's the answer to those questions, essentially what powerlifting is. So you have a very clear idea of where you are. And there's also, you can rank yourself from like the powerlifting federation regarding your total, your body weight. It is very relative to your body weight as well. I just like to classify. Obviously, if you're heavier than someone, you're expected to lift more because, like we mentioned, mass moves mass. If you're 50 kg, you're not expected to move a weight like someone who is 80 kg because that would just be honestly impressive. So shout out to those who do. And also, if you're female, you're less likely to lift as much weight as male just because genetics, testosterone, rate of muscle growth. It's not fair, but it is what it is. Can't make the rules. I can't change your genetics for you. Deal with it. Do you have any? Do you want to add to the advantages?
Yeah, kind of similar to what I was saying before, but sense of community. Like I went to go see a couple of arenas competitions, and as you're doing your lift, everyone is cheering for you to lift it, and it's really encouraging to see. So
yeah, actually,
defo that. I feel like everyone is also really supportive in training, because everyone's kind of going for their own PBs, and I think because you talked about this as well in a competition. You kind of already have an idea of where you're at. You know that because you can see other people's weights.
See what because you have to, sorry to interrupt, but you have to submit in your starting weight, like your first lift, which I think is the same for weightlifting and street lifting. Again, if any of this information is just slightly incorrect or completely incorrect, feel free to comment down below, like just to spread awareness as well. But you have to submit your first lift. So as Agnesa was saying, you get to see where everyone's kind of starting off, and you kind of can project, because you typically progress with the same sort of ranges with each lift anyways. For squat and deadlift, like, you can increase your weights a bit more on each attempt. And I believe for all three, there's 3 attempts. There's obviously 3 attempts for squat, bench, dead, but I mean, for all 3, powerlifting, street lifting, and weightlifting, there's 3 attempts. If you guys are interested, we can get into like a breakdown of competitions if you want another episode, but that's only if like one person replies. So
I actually think that would be interesting, so maybe I reply and
yeah.
I'll do it.
Just make a fake account. So if you see an episode like that, probably because there's someone in here. So yeah, do you want to continue your point? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that already going into it, you kind of already have an idea of your weights that you want to achieve, and that's kind of regardless of everyone else. So in a way, you kind of already, obviously it does differ depending on how you lift, whether you get the lift, fail a lift, but you kind of already know where you're standing amongst the people in your category.
Yeah.
So then that kind of takes the pressure off wanting to beat someone else rather than getting your own PBs. And I think in that way, everyone is really supportive of you, and they want you to get your lift.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's not a subjective sport. Like, yeah, you have whether or not you actually hit your lift, but if you can't lift the weight, you can't lift the weight. Like, there's nothing you could do in that moment. Whereas like because we did gymnastics, it was different, because you could have like been a bit more artistic. Like, you could have done a bit better on a spin or something. I'm just making stuff up here at this point, but yeah. However, the drawbacks, deadlifts, I'm pretty sure, are one of the most fatiguing lifts that you can do in the gym. Like, they fry your central nervous system. You genuinely get exhausted, very fatigued, especially if you're lifting like close to maximal lifts. And although it does strengthen your back if performed incorrectly, if performed correctly, it's healthy. If performed incorrectly, it can damage your spine. Same with squat, like, you're loading a lot of weight on your squat, and same with bench, especially if you see the arches. It's so that you can lift as much weight as possible, but you can also injure yourself if you do it incorrectly. So you need a level of technicality, and for that, I think a coach is helpful, because it's kind of difficult to figure out on your own or with YouTube, because it's not the most replicable of techniques.
Yeah, kind of linking to what you were just saying there, the way you structure your trainings, I feel, can be a little bit more complicated, in the sense that you've got to know what an RPE is, you've got to know by how much to increase your weight.
Yeah.
I just think it's a little bit more...
I think that's the same with all the lifting.
I guess,
I'm going to group the 3 lifting, the ones that have lifting on the end, they're grouped as the lifting 3.
This is just me, like, as you're saying things, I'm getting reminded of it.
Yeah.
Other kind of drawbacks are, the movements are pretty repetitive. You're doing 3 exercises, so
yeah,
it's
does
repetitive.
I bench 4 times. Like, a lot of people that I know as well who compete in powerlifting bench either 3 or 4 times a week. So if you're not one for repetition, probably not the way for you to go.
Then there's minimal aerobic stimulus. So obviously you're lifting weight. You're not.
It's a stereotype as well.
What?
That powerlifters don't do cardio.
Oh,
it's a massive stereotype, and fair enough. Like, it's like the purpose of it is 1 rep for only 3 lifts. Like, if you think about it, you're not actually moving very much. Like, you're exerting a lot of power, a lot of strength, but you're not actually moving. So
I suppose that's also for it.
It's a different
for powerlifting
stimulus,
for sure. But also, if you're in the gym as well, just lifting, you're not moving as someone who would do
Yeah.
cardio. Anyway, yeah. So
do your cardio regardless. It doesn't have to be
It's good
much.
for your-
Just move
for your heart.
steps. Yeah.
And then of course there's the pressure to make a weight class, which, as Arena mentioned before, the amount of weight you move is relative to, as in when it's being calculated, is relative to your body weight. So there are different weight classes, and of course that can put a lot of pressure on, especially with like food, weighing yourself. There comes, it's pretty.
A lot of weight class sports have their own drawbacks.